All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Bye-bye. Shalom. It's Yoki. I'm going to share with you another testimony about another healing that happened in my body that science cannot explain. Atheists even have to eat it because they can't, they can't accept it, but they can't, they can't deny it. What happened, And so I was in a motorcycle accident in 1978, earlier. First part of the year there. I was on a motorcycle. I was my Yamaha DT360, and I was coming out of a post office parking lot. I made a left, and then came up to the street and turned right, and started to go. And I didn't get 40 feet, and a van crossed over my lane so quick, just jerked his wheel, crossed over my lane, and hit me head on. And I crashed into his front bumper, which was a big old van that had a big old, bumper. That was, I can't remember if it was chrome or not, but it was just a great big, monster piece of metal, like a battering ram. And my head hit his windshield, and the visor on my helmet turned my head sideways. My head smashed out his windshield, and my shoulder hit the front of the engine there, and then but my foot got caught, slammed in between the motorcycle and that bumper, and it crushed my ankle. And I bounced off into the parking lot, rolled a few times, and was just furiously angry because I had just finished, spending some time and money on that motorcycle, fixing it up to make it good. I mean, not mint condition showroom, but I'm talking about straight, because it was an older motorcycle, secondhand I got, and I fixed it up. I fixed everything on it, and it was all good and good looking, but stock. And so anyway, I was furious, and I was so angry, and I started to get up. I looked down, and my foot was pointed the wrong way, and I decided not to get up. And I was like, oh my God. So I sat there, and I just, the police told us later in the report that the guy was higher than a kite, and he saw a gas station that had, munchies, and he decided to, he had to have some right now, and he just wasn't even looking at the traffic, just jerked the wheel and was headed for food. And, that's the reality. And so anyway, they put me in a walking cast, and, I was in a cast for a long time. 6 weeks, and then I had it taken off, and I had taken it off a week early. Actually, he wanted to keep it on for another week, but I told him I was going back to college and I had to have it off. So he took it off, and then that ankle was frozen, and I do mean frozen. It wouldn't bend. I had to learn how to walk with the weirdest looking tracks in the snow you ever seen, with one foot pointed completely sideways and the other foot, almost perfectly straight forward. Because I learned to walk on my heel and roll that heel because I couldn't flex the foot at all. And so that lasted from 78 to 95. So 7 years I walked like that, and it definitely affected me. I couldn't play golf. I couldn't run, jog, without hobbling real bad. I didn't have to have crutches, but and I was a photographer. I had to go all day and work like crazy, and weddings, carrying backpacks of equipment and stuff, and carrying luggage. And it just, it was a miserable thing. But again, my cross to bear. And then one night, I'm in a prayer meeting, and we had these little circles where we'd pray in group, and then we'd break up into little circles, 8 or 10 people. And in the circle, then we'd all pray for each other's needs. And there'd be prayer points to pray for the nation, our leaders, things like that. But then after that, then we'd pray for individuals and each other. And so we were going around, and about the third person to the right of the coordinator, our team leader, whatever you want to call it, was a woman, and she was struggling with her faith. She was going through some things, and she was starting to doubt that God cared, that he existed, that he would do anything. I mean, she was really in that wavering moment. And my heart went out to her. I don't know why her. I mean, she wasn't exceptionally, close to me or anything. Didn't know her that well. She wasn't like some gorgeous thing I was chasing or anything like that. I was happily married back then. And just my heart went out to her because I felt her pain, the pain of like a father turning his back on you. I mean, of being a child rejected, and that's how she felt. And my heart just went out to her. And I was sitting directly opposite her, maybe 7 feet from her, across the circle from her. And she put her head down and, the despair was to overtake. It was like a cloud of darkness was coming over her. And I just came out of my chair. I mean, just like it just happened. I didn't consciously think about it. I just slid out of my chair and went across 2 steps and went down on my knee and prayed for her and prayed for her faith, and and just spoke encouragement from scripture, but then also personal encouragement that you're not alone. We're all here. We're all praying for you, and we know that we've all got testimonies like that where there's moments that we're like, where are you? Think about Messiah, his own son on the cross. Why have you forsaken me? He said that in Aramaic, but he's like, Eli, Eli, sabachthani. I'm not going to pretend to speak it perfectly, but he spoke to his father in his native conversational tongue that he spoke at home with Mary and Joseph, Ina and Abba. And he spoke that to heaven, he's to the sky, to his father, and lifted his voice and said, why have you forsaken me? For that brief moment. Even he went through that. So who are we to be stronger in faith than the Messiah? No. I just, my heart went out to her, so I prayed for her. While I was praying for her, I felt something at that point, because this is before another testimony I gave already, but I never had something like that happen, where all of a sudden it felt like warm oil pouring down over my calf and across my ankle and out to almost to my tips of my toes, but not hitting my toes. It just was a warm feeling. And I was like, wow. And it felt comfortable. And I'd never felt comfortable in that ankle since the crash. And I got up and I walked back to my seat, and my foot was bending. It was flexing back. It was extending outward. I mean, within a few days of activities at work, I noticed that I wasn't favoring it anymore. I had to retrain myself to turn my foot back forward and quit walking with that foot out sideways. And I gave all the glory and all the praise and honor to him. I had a trashed ankle that the bone and the calcification and calcium deposits had just completely froze it. Just froze it. And now all of a sudden I could bend it. And it was like a ridge, like a vertical line on the inside of my ankle that, was never there before. It's like he just cracked that thing, and without any pain, without anything, just dissolved whatever it was, needed to be dissolved, and left a mark like he touched it with his finger. I mean, I'm not going to say anything like I saw that or angels or any of that stuff, and I'm not denying any of those things. I've had experiences where those things, occurred, but and witnessed them. But this time, that was my testimony. I just felt like warm oil poured over my ankle, and man, I felt so much better. And I have sprained my ankles, both ankles, since then, because I'm going to say I'm an idiot now, because when I was younger, I was not a risk taker. I was just in sports and stuff, and people would roll up on my ankle or hit me, like the van hit me on my motorcycle, or something would happen to me, and it would happen usually to my left ankle. Would get attacked. I mean, I could see where the devil didn't want me to go anywhere to spread the word, so he would attack my feet, my legs, my finances, try to keep me from moving. And it's never succeeded yet. I'm still going at 67 years old with a lot of different things going on in my body, and I'm still going. So, my encouragement is, if you need to pause, you need to rest, you need to heal. Rest, ice, compression, elevate. That's typical therapy for a lot of sprains and things like that. Well, then do it. But don't lay there forever, and don't give up, and don't think that it happened to you because you did something good, or you did something wrong, and so God didn't cover you, and therefore the devil was able to put something on you. It's like, no, no matter what the devil does to you, he's going to use it for his purposes. The Lord will. Adonai is, he's our creator, he's our fixer, and he's our healer. He does the miraculous every day. There's miracles in nature. There's miracles. I love that line from Peaceful Warrior. There's always extraordinary moments. which the converse is there's never nothing happening. You're never forgotten. You never will be. No matter how far you get, because he's not going to leave you. I mean, he won't be all over you if you're in sin and wallowing in it and intentionally rebelling. But he'll always put that drawing to you and calling yourself and to come back to him. And when you do, then, if you're with him, then whatever you're going through, you're going through. Yea, though I go through the valley of the shadow of death, Psalms 23. Keyword, through. You're going through. I'm through. Salute. 5 bites shalom. Love you. Please share, subscribe, and all those things. I don't get any money from it. It's way too tiny a channel, and I'm not monetizing anything. I'll never charge for what I'm doing here. Thank you. Be blessed.